Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe I told a fib. I told a fib. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Boston, Massachusetts on this Friday morning. Welcome to Live and Learn, the morning gratitude show, Apolitically Incorrect, the Friday magazine show where I flex my apolitical acumen. I used to care about politics. I used to watch Meet the Press every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. on NBC was sacred. Don't bother Sully. Actually had a good agreement with one of my old roommates. He'd play his music, make breakfast for the gang, and I would have Meet the Press on with the closed captioning. And that's about compromise and meeting in the middle, and everyone got what they wanted. We all got breakfast. He got his music. I got Meet the Press and Not Bothered, and that's called compromise. The great American system of compromise. So yeah, this is the gratitude show. Live and learn. Live and learn was something my mom drilled into me all my life, and that's now the name of this show. I wake up every day with a gratitude list in my heart and head and soul. I roll out of bed 3:38 a.m. already with a dozen things to be grateful for, and I keep adding to that all day long. Gratitude is my is my software. It really does. It's. I've rebooted my hardware with gratitude, and I've been a better person, better functioning individual ever since. I am grateful for my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, a solid breakfast, the peace that comes from being a single man my age, my sobriety in whatever form that takes today, with its highs and lows, its peaks and valleys, its wins and losses. It's the road I'm on. I'm very grateful for the U.S. military, all active service members, all veterans, and especially those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in defending our borders, our culture, our way of life, this American way, this American dream, this American hustle. I'm proud. I am still proud to be an American. It's still the best country in history of the world. People by hook or by crook try to get here for that American dream. Seriously, prove me wrong. And that's just the first dozen. And then I keep adding to that all day long. So apolitically incorrect. I'm going to start this off that this is a show fueled by, we need context. Okay, for the YouTube AI gods, that there are no actual humans that review things anymore. I got nailed with a hate speech warning, and there was no hate speech, and I proved my point, yet I didn't win my appeal. They said, no, you had actual hate speech. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I gave you proof. Like, no, just because we say so. And you can't fight that, I guess. And if you want to be on YouTube, you got to walk on eggshells in a way. You just can't say any old thing. So this show is satirical. It's based in satire, so I have a scathing sense of humor. I also I have an opinion, and it's only my opinion. I'm not representing anyone besides myself. I am not punching down on any marginalized people. Please explain to me what a marginalized, vulnerable group is in the first place. And how is, how and what is a punching down on them. It's just serious. These are all separate conversations, and not what I'm about to talk about. But you got to be careful of what you say on YouTube. You just got to be, all right? I don't want to lose my channel. I really don't. I worked hard on it. But you just had it was semi Super Tuesday this past week with the elections. Democrats won big. A few Virginia and New Jersey governor, and especially the mayor of New York City, is a socialist. But that, honestly, is part of the American dream. You got to give, everyone has a fair opportunity. Or is it a fair opportunity? And so here comes the part where it's like, I'm going to start dancing on eggshells. I'm going to start pirouetting, and you're not going to hear a damn crack. There's not going to be yolk on my toes. Or not. I won't know until tomorrow. Or until someone false flags me, or the AI gods judge me as being too controversial. That's not my intention. So hopefully this is laying down a basis of context, which will be ignored. But let's see, live and learn. New York will live and learn. Democrats and Republicans will always be at odds. There's got to be more than just this false dichotomy, this binary choice of Coke and Pepsi, of Camel and Marlboro, of Shell or Mobil. You know what I mean? Just it's like this. There's more than two brands, and I've always been a fan of the notion that a two-party system is one party away from being a one-party system. That's, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. But this show is not about election denial. Far from it. It's about tomfoolery denial. I'm not disputing the results of any election. Not this election, not the previous election, not the 2020 election. I mean, where did all of those votes for Biden go in 2024? Shouldn't those same people have showed up for Kamala Harris? I don't know. Maybe they were, who knows? You know, it was a strange time with mail-in ballots, a deeper reliance on mail ballots in the COVID era. I mean, it just seems like a perfect storm. It just, but hey, I mean, I am not denying any election results. I'm not disputing the 2016 results. Anything. I am not an election denier. I'm not. But what I am entirely for as an American with free speech and an opinion and caring about the process is more transparency and more dedication to a more analog system of ballot keeping. I believe that in paper ballots, that's it, paper ballots. I like the part of the conversation that every single I don't want to dox myself with every single piece of American currency has a serial number on it. And that's how they keep their authenticity and their value. We already do it with paper money and currency. And I know that digital is a convenience, but voting shouldn't be a convenience. It's not about convenience. It's a very serious thing. It's especially it's got a secular. For me, it has a secular holiness to it. It should be treated as something a bit more important than just, it's mail-in votes. So I'm this is my opinion, that it's non-citizens, non-naturalized citizens shouldn't be able to vote. I understand that upsets progressive democratic people, lefty people. That's not my intention. But it's more of the United States has always been accused of the CIA of destabilizing foreign governments to sway in the interests of U.S. big business over the past 200 years. Gunpowder diplomacy and banana republics and yada yada, all the way down the line. But when you allow non-citizens, you also invite foreign interference. I see. Shit, I'm a high school graduate. I see that. If I was a foreign government wanting to destabilize the United States, That's what I would do. I would firstly invade the college system, and there's how you're going to start disseminating your ideology, and then, destabilize the borders, and then destabilize the integrity of voting. So I just believe in a greater integrity of the voting system. Paper ballots. And unfortunately, we're at the point where yes, we need IDs. You need to have you don't need a voter ID. What you need is a United States real ID. The same piece of identification that allows you to board an aircraft and fly domestically in the United States of America. That is a great standard to have. I mean, you need an identification. Now, I'm in Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You need to show identification twice to purchase retail cannabis at a dispensary. Once you come in the door and at your point of sales origin at the cashier, you need to show identification. And, cannabis sales helps, is a huge windfall of tax revenue for any state. It bypasses a black market. It really does. It takes, and it helps furnish an all new industry. And, but you need to show identification for that. You do. You need to show ID to, if you're at a sporting event. I'm 50 years old. I need to show my ID every time I buy a beer. Look at me, I got white beard, I'm a bald man. Can't you see I'm a grown adult? Sorry, sir, you need an ID to buy that can of Miller Lite, or without it you can't. But all of these standards work on a day-to-day ground level. But when it comes to voting, you don't need to prove you are who you are, that you are a citizen of the United States, that you are, part of this district, that you're in the right voting, the polling, location, shit like that. I mean, we're at the point now where, I have no problem showing my ID when I'm voting. I'm in Massachusetts, they don't care for that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I feel like the resistance to that is just, in a way, anti-American. Why? Because you are giving tacit approval for foreign governments to interfere with our electoral processes. You really are. You don't see that? Of course you don't. Because it's like the people that agree with this stuff, they all have to agree together, or else they get ostracized by each other. They eat their own. And guess what? The right is catching up with the left. You've heard of the woke right? Well, that's a response to the woke left. And that's happening. So I'm not denying any election results. What I am saying is that, me personally, I don't trust the electoral process anymore. Why? Because of, there doesn't seem to be any. It's been 25 years. 25 years since hanging chads. Since fucking Broward County. Since fucking Bush versus Gore in the 2000 election. 25 years since that. And there's been no kind of process. There seems to be nothing. And those in power wish to keep their systems in place so they can keep power. I mean, I also, in part two of this, I also believe in term limits. I believe now, and I believe in age limits. Sometimes people, you get too, look at Nancy Pelosi, hey, I'm not running for Congress anymore. You're 85 years old. You've been doing this for 60 odd years. We need term limits so that never happens again. And we need age limits because, look at poor President Biden. He was obviously suffering, from it's going to happen to us all if we're blessed to live that long. He should be enjoying his golden years, hanging out with his dogs and his grandkids, and his wife, and retired. And you have to pass the baton. You have to pass the torch to a new generation. And you can't do that. Hey, if you want to run for another office somewhere else, run for mayor of your town or city. I mean, if you want to stay in government, run for president. Or then if you're done being a senator, be a congressperson until that term limit comes to be. Oh boy, look at this. Oh shit. Find a seat. Boy. Oh, this sucks. Yeah. Term limits.
Next stop,
And unfortunately age limits too. I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. You look at President Trump. I mean, he's 79 years old. I mean, there is an age limit where you have to be at least 35 years old to be president in the United States. I don't believe that the voting age should be reduced. Heck, it should be increased to 21. The infantilization of American youth, lowering the voting age. That's like giving illegal immigrants and non-naturalized citizens the right to vote. That seems like destabilization. Oh, but if they work, they get taxed. Sorry, I just think that's counterintuitive, and counterproductive. That's a cui bono. Like, who's really profiting from that? So yeah, none of this stuff that I'm saying is election denial. I'm not denying any results. Not one bit. No. If that's how you run your state, city, I just feel like it's we're at one of these points in history where we have to, it's going to come out to be in years from now, wait a second, there's something fishy going on here. I almost said a specific place, but that's what will get you in trouble. But it's kind of obvious, why isn't there more voter reform? Why haven't you? Well, because the people in power don't want reform. Why don't they want reform? Because they want to keep their power. Or, and that's why I've been pretty much blackpilled on, and that's why I'm apolitically incorrect. I've been blackpilled on the American electoral process. It's kind of, why would I trust in this? People that are resistant to, you want to let illegal immigrants vote? You want to let non-citizens vote? They have every right. No, they don't. Literally, no. And on the other hand, we're not allowed to vote unless you're a dual citizen. If you have I could have gotten an Irish passport, once in my life. If I did, I could have, voted in the Irish elections, sure, but I'm not. I'm just, I don't know. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions, such as why hasn't there been greater voter reform? Paper ballots, voter ID, term limits, age limits. See, if I was in charge, this is that big hypothetical question, hey, if I was in charge, those are the things I would lay down. Voter reform, paper ballots, same day results. We used to have these results. People have been, America's what, 250 years old? Yeah, we're going to be 250 years old next year. We've had elections all this time, counting ballots, paper ballots. There's the illusion of trusting in this digital system, something that can be manipulated with, we need to have less faith in the systems and have more faith in our common sense. We have to have more faith in our suspicions about other humans. I mean, this whole happy, scrappy hero pup thing of like, oh, all people are intrinsically good. Are you sure about that? Being good is a struggle. Choosing the right thing is a struggle. It's easy to do the wrong thing. It can be fun too. It can be lucrative as well. I bet you there are a lot of humans out there throughout history that sleep well at night on beds made out of the misfortunes of other humans. That's human history. Human history is also about conquest. I'm a huge history buff. I love history. And one thing I've learned from that is that human history is built on conquests. And so the porous border, and the whole voter insecurity thing, it's like, what else am I supposed to think? How am I not supposed to be black-pilled on this? I'm pretty bright. I see no way out of it except without greater reform. And that's not going to happen. It won't happen. There will be no age limits. There will be no term limits. You think that any congressperson or senator are going to agree to term limits? I don't know. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. Live and learn. But I am grateful. I'm grateful for the wisdom. I'm grateful for my wisdom in action. I'm grateful that I have suspicion. I'm grateful that, my head's on a swivel. And even with all of this self-preservation, there is the probability you could get clobbered. So yeah, I am not an election denier. No way. I am a tomfoolery denier. And I see the voting process is more flawed today than any point in American history. There is not one national standard for voting and voting systems. You have certain states that require identification, and then you have certain states that celebrate the fact that they don't. You don't need an ID to vote. That's scary. Why should that be celebrated? You need an ID to fly domestically. One of these real IDs. That you need the same level of verification to get a passport. Train.
No smoking, please.
It's a train. All right, that's all I got today. This has been Apolitically Incorrect here in the Live and Learn Morning Gratitude Show. Yeah. I have nothing to say about the blue breakers. That wasn't a wave, and this wasn't the midterms. That's next year. Then we'll see a real fight politically, and then we're going to start seeing who are going to be the presidential candidates for 2028, starting next year too. That's when all that stuff starts up. Don't worry about President Trump's third term. He'll be 81 years old by then. There are already term limits in place set for the presidency, and that was done by a president who is on his fourth term as president. That was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. in the 1940s that made that piece of legislation that stuck. That our president can only serve 2 terms. And we need similar legislation for Congress. They need term limits. We might also need age limits. I think we definitely need to use your real ID to verify your identification at your polling place, just like you do when you board a plane to fly domestically, or even go to your cannabis dispensary to buy a little bit of flowered joy. Alrighty, that's all I got. God bless, namaste, good luck. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Would love to earn your subscription. We'll be on Wes's Thinking Critical tomorrow, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern tomorrow, talking about all things funny books. And let's see if I have a show for Sunday. I should. And if not live, then definitely a pre-recorded. I've got plans with friends this weekend. Yeah, and just doing more stuff with new friends, old friends. And I'm just blessed and grateful. And at the bottom line of everything, I am blessed and grateful to be an American, to be in America, to be in this point in history. There's no place I'd rather be. Right here, right now, watching the world wake up. From history, I guess. Is that the song? All right. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We'll see you with more. Bye-bye.